قال رحمه الله, said the author, may Allah have mercy on him. فائدة, benefit. قال ابن فورك في مقالات الأشعري. Said Ibn Fuwrak in Maqaalaat Al Ash. So what did Ibn Fuwrak say? He said, اعلم أنه كان يذهب إلى أن هذه العبارات على حسب اختلاف اللغات أصلها التوقيف. Know that he used to take the position that these expressions, according to the various languages, their origin is tawqif. So tawqif means being stopped or halted or arrested. And it means revelation. It means revelation. Min khaliqis samawat, from the creator of the heavens or skies or firmaments. Yani he's saying, Al-Ash'ari's position is that the original languages are revelation. All of the original languages are revelation. وَلَيْسَ ذَلِكَ اصْطِلَاحًا وَلَا عَادَةً وَلَا تَحَرِّيًا. And that is not any jargon, nor is it some custom, nor is it tahari. Tahari, at the moment I'm not sure how to translate that, maybe it will come. لأن ذلك لو كان كذلك لاتصل بما لا يتناهى. Because had the case been like that, any one of these, then it would have led to a beginningless chain. He means these expressions, meaning the expressions from the original languages, not the offshoot languages or the derivative languages. The expressions from the original languages are not some terms that people took as terminology. Because usually if you take terminology, then you're selecting that on purpose. You're choosing the words. Because Al-Ash'ari is saying, had that been the case, it would have led to a beginningless chain. إذ لا يمكن أن يصطلحوا على عبارة إلا بعبارة أو بشارة. Because it wouldn't be possible for them to take some jargon, to take some expression as jargon. It wouldn't be possible for them to take some expression as jargon except by some expression or by some signal. وكل ذلك لا يقع مفهومه إلا باصطلاح عليها بأخرى. And then that expression or signal would not be understandable, would not be comprehensible unless there was a previous jargon or signal. And then you keep going without an end, yani without a beginning. وَذَلِكَ مُحَالٌ, and that's impossible. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ, and he used to say, إِنَّ أُصُولَ اللُّغَاتِ تَوْقِيفٌ. Indeed, the fundamentals of the languages, the origins of the languages are by revelation. وَيَحْتَمِلُ أَنْ يَكُونَ فُرُوعُهَا مُشْتَقًّا مِنْهَا قِيَاسًا وَاجْتِهَادًا. And it's possible that their derivatives are derived from them by comparison and by inference. ألا ترى أنه قال في باب كيفية الاستدلال فأما ما طريقه اللغات فأصله التوقيف من أهلها انتهى. Don't you see that Al-Ash'ari said in the chapter about the way of inference, how to make proper inference? He said, as for the way to do that by language, its origin is to take it back to how its original speakers understood it and spoke it. So here, there's no contradiction here. It might seem like he's saying two different things, and he's not. The scholar said, our Shaykh says, and Al-Ash'ari says, that the origin of languages is revelation. So that's correct. Sometimes they say, though, this is how it is in the language because this is how, for example, in Arabic they would say, because usually as Muslims we're dealing with Arabic. So they say in one instance, Arabic is a revealed language. It's an original language, amongst others. But then in other instances they would say, this is how it is in Arabic because this is how the Arabs put the word. هكذا وضع العرب. They would say, هكذا وضع العرب. This is the way the Arabs put the word. So as if there's a contradiction here. Is it put by the Arabs or is it by revelation? But they mean in both instances, really it's by revelation. When they say this is how it was put by the Arabs, they mean this is how the Arabs spoke it and understood it. But it's originally revelation. They don't mean that the Arabs made up the words when they say this is how the Arabs put it. But someone might think that that's what they're saying. So he says, فَأَمَّا مَا طَرِيقُهُ اللُّغَاتِ. As for that which its way is the languages, فَأَصْلُهُ التَّوْقِيفُ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا. Its origin is halting that, limiting it to what came from its people, from the people of those languages. Meaning that the language is transmitted. All the languages, they are transmitted. However, some of those languages are not preserved. Arabic is preserved. Like we said before, English is not preserved. Though it doesn't seem to be argued by anyone that English is an original language. Once, Sheikh Samir, he said, more than once he said, that there is a name, a proper name for the Creator in every language. He said, in English, it's God. So I said to him, well, Sheikh, they say that the English language came from like this and like that, and then there were invaders, the Vikings came, and this and that, and then the languages mixed, etc. He said to me, they weren't there. That was his answer. With what I perceived to be a slight annoyance with me. Though, I could be wrong about that. And as if he brushed me off after that because he didn't go any further. He said they weren't there. At the time, that answer was not satisfying to me. I wasn't offended though, because Sheikh Samir is ala ra'si wal ayn. But I wasn't satisfied with that answer. Later I understood actually why he said that. Because a lot of what they say is speculation. A lot of what they say is the origin of language or languages, or some of them, is speculation. That's why they say Arabic language is derived from Hebrew. I've seen that. And they might say Hebrew was derived from something else, maybe cuneiform or something like that. All of that is speculation. And their proof would be because there's similar words between the languages. So one of them should have been the origin for the other. And that's not necessary because they could both be original. Sometimes the scholars would differ when there are two similar things. They would say, is one the origin for the other, or are they both original? For example, if you know a little bit of the Arabic, don't you know seen? That you put on the verb to put the verb into the future tense. And sofa also you put for the verb to put it into the future tense. So some said seen is the origin of sofa. Some said no, both of them are original, neither are taken from the other. Same thing for the noon of tawkid. There's one with a shadda and one without. Some said the one without a shadda is the origin for the other. Some said no, both are original. Look what the kuffar say about the animals. They say, oh, look, they must have come from a common ancestor. Look at their tailbones. Look at their hip bones. They don't have any evidence for that, really. It's speculation. So it could be that the lion and the tiger and all those feline creatures, each one is an original one. Each one is a type that Allah created originally, didn't come from. Doesn't have to be that they all came from a common ancestor and started splitting. So the languages are transmitted. I said all of that to say that the languages are transmitted. There are original languages, but Allah knows what's preserved today other than Arabic. So that's why if you're interested in language, learn the old language. Whatever language you're studying, learn the old. The older it is, the stronger it is. Well, perhaps I'm assuming because I only know Arabic and English, and it's true in both of those cases. So I'm assuming that it would be like that for other languages too, and Allah knows best. Intaha, end quote of Al-Ash'ari. I have a footnote here, my own handwritten footnote. وَأَبَانَ لَكَ أَنَّ الْأَصْلَ تَوْقِيفٌ. It became clear for you that the origin is revelation. وَمَا فِي مَعْنَاهُ يُسَمَّى بِاسْمِهِ. And then whatever has the meaning of that origin, whatever is like that origin and meaning, would then be named by the name of the origin, the original one. لِمُسَاوَاتِهِ لَهُ فِي مَعْنَاهُ. Because of their being equal in meaning. فَالظَّاهِرُ هَذَا الْكَلَامِ يدل على أنه كان يرى وضع أسماء المحدث قياسا. And so what appears from this talk is that Al-Ash'ari used to deem that names were put forth, new names were put forth by comparison. So that, what I just read to you, was read to us from a manuscript of Mujarrad Maqaalaat by Ibn Fuwrak. So what he's saying is that Al-Ash'ari is saying, for example, that originally there's language and there's words that were put forth for things. Didn't Adam know the names of things? وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Allah taught Adam the names, means he inspired him with that. He made him know that ibtida'an, initially. And this idea is necessary and not far-fetched. There has to be a first for every created thing. There has to be a first one, that there wasn't something before it. So what Al-Ash'ari is saying is that these languages came, and there were expressions that referred to things. They had meanings. So for example, Al-Asad, the lion, was used for that ferocious beast. Then came another one like it. So then what was done? Then the next one was named like the first one. That's what he's saying. ثم قال, and then he said, وَالْمَشْهُورُ مِنْ مَذْهَبِهِ فِي أَسْمَاءِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. Yani then Ibn Fuwrak said, and what is famous from Al-Ash'ari's position concerning the names of God Almighty, وَأَوْصَافِهِ, and His awsaf, could be attributes, could be adjectives, أنه لا يتعدى فيها التوقيف الوارد في الكتاب والسنة واتفاق الأمة. Is that the stoppage that came in the book and the sunnah and the agreement of the nation is not preceded, is not transcended. We don't go beyond it. We stop when it comes to the names and attributes of Allah. We stop at the book, whatever came in the book and the sunnah and the ijma'. Consensus. Like Al-Qadim. Al-Qadim is the name of Allah according to consensus. The Wahhabis deny that that's the name of Allah. فعلى هذا الأصل إذن وجبت التفرقة بين أسماء المحدث والقديم وأوصافهما. So according to this base, then it is obligatory to differentiate between the names of the names of whatever is created and the names of what is eternal, and to differentiate between their awsaf, adjectives or attributes.